Hey guys, welcome to part D. Your secret word is actually an equation, p minus 0.25p equals 0.75p, which is just sort of me reminding you that all of our work with percents can be represented with expressions and equations. So let's see how you're doing with percents, check the answer key, and then stick around for whatever you might need. If you had anything wrong or just want some review on percents, please stick around. Alright, so a dress from H&M has a regular price of $160 and there's a 25% off sale. And we got to figure out the sales price of the dress. So one way to do this would be to use a ratio table with dollars and percents, and the retail price would be 100%, and then we're trying to find basically a quarter of that would be the discount. And I know I can do 100 divided by 4 to get 25, so you can also do 160 divided by 4, and that would give us $40. You could also make a percent bar, and since 100% would be $160, 10% would just be 16, and then you can scale up by that, and then when you got right here, you can be like, well, I know 25% would be right here, and then it might be useful to know that 5% is half of 16, which is 8, and then you can do 32 plus 8 to get 40. Either way, you should figure out that 25% is 40. Then, to find the sales price, I do $160, I subtract the discount, and that gives me a sales price of $120. Alright, so this looks like the headphones have a retail price of $200, and then there's a 4% off sale. So I'm going to start by setting up a ratio table with $200 as 100%, and then I need to find 4%. There's lots of ways to do this in this problem. One way to do it would be to divide by 10, and then to divide by 10 again, to find out that 1% is the same as $2. Then you can just scale this up, multiply by 4, to get $8. And so that's how much the discount's going to be. So we have the retail price of $200, and then we can subtract the discount, which is $8, and 200 subtract 8 is $192. So that's the discounted price. And notice for this one how it was really helpful to find the unit rate. That strategy can be helpful with percents that are only multiples of 1. It's the only way to kind of get to that number. Alright, so for this one, the cost of this breakfast sandwich is $3, and it says what's the final cost after an 8% tax. So reading that carefully, I know that taxes make it more expensive, so I'm going to have to add whatever 8% I get to the $3. So $3, that would be 100%. And then you can divide by 10 here to get 10%. And you could do that on a calculator, but if you didn't have one, hopefully by now you're seeing what happens when you divide by 10. It's like, instead of it being $3, the 3 would move from the ones place to the tenths place, and it would become 30 cents. And then, if you divide by 10 again, we'd get 1%. And now the 3 would actually go over to the hundredths place, and it becomes 3 cents. We're still going back to the problem looking for 8%. So let's just scale this unit rate up by 8. And then 3/100 times 8 is 24/100, which I can write like this. And now that is the tax, so let's take the retail price. Since it's a tax, let's add it, and that gives us a final answer of $3.24. Alright, I gave this one a title. I called it Discount and Tax. A new flannel shirt has a retail price of $80. The store offers a 25% off sale. Additionally, they charge a 6% tax after the discount. What would be the final cost of the shirt after the discount and taxes? Alright, so this is a two-step problem. We're going to start off with the discount, and then we'll apply the tax. So we have dollars and a percent. Our retail price of $80. It's 100% since it's the starting price. We're trying to get to 25, so again, the quarter strategy is useful. Let's just divide by 4. And that would give us $20 is 25%. So let's see what we have so far. We have $80, and then we subtract our discount, equals $60, and that is the sales price. So now the next step is to figure out a 6% tax on that sales price. So we have $60 is 100% now. We have that new 100%. And since we're trying to find 6%, let's find the unit rate. So let's divide by 10, which would be 10%, and $6. Then let's divide by 10 again, which would be 1%. And dividing 6 by 10 would put the 6 in the tens place, which is just like 60 cents. And now we can scale that up. 1 times 6 is 6. And 60 cents times 6 is $3.60. So now we go back to our sales price, and we have to add that 6% tax, which is $3.60. Notice how I put the 3 underneath the 0. I'm putting it in the ones place. And that would give us $63.60, which would be the final cost of the shirt after the discount and the tax. Number 5 is the same type of problem, except when we make it to the tax part, we have a stranger tax. And I just want to remind us of a strategy we could use to find it. Also, let's read this problem. Jasmel wants to buy 4 pairs of sneakers, each with a retail price of $62.50. Remember that with these problems, you could multiply the price by 4 at the beginning, or you could save it for the very end. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it at the beginning. So I'm going to do $62.50 times 4. So that would be $250, which is the retail price of 4 pairs. And so now we have 2 steps after that. We have a 20% discount and a 7.5% tax. So let's again start off with our discount. So it's $250. That's our retail price for all 4 shoes together. To get to 20%, let's just do divided by 5. And 50, 100, 150, 200, 250. So that would be $50 is 20%. And take our retail price, subtract the discount, gives us a sales price of $200. Try and label your work so you can keep track of these longer percent problems. And then next we have our tax. So the $200 is our sales price, and that becomes our new 100%. Now we're trying to get to 7.5%, and I'm going to use the unit rate strategy. So I'm going to divide by 100, which just gets rid of the zeros, and we end up with $2 is 100. And then I'm going to multiply by 7.5. You can actually do that off to the side or with your calculator, or you could just double 7.5, which should give you 15.0, or $15. And so now I go back to my sales price, I add our tax, which is $15, and you should end up with $215. Alright, and this last one has multiple fees. A fee is something that makes the price more expensive, no matter what they call it. It's almost just like additional taxes. So Destiny is shopping online for Rubiks Cube. They sell online for $12.50, and Amazon charges an 8% processing fee, plus a shipping fee of $3.95. And gotta keep reading and be really careful. And Destiny wants to buy 5 of these. Alright, so again, when we're buying multiple items, you can multiply it by 5 at the beginning or the end. This time I'm going to do it at the end. And it really doesn't matter. You could actually do it both ways, just to really check your answer when you get to the state test. So let's start off with the first fee, which is an 8% processing fee. So we have $12.50 is how much they sell for. And I want to get to 8%. So I'm going to use my calculator, and I'm going to do $12.50 divided by 100, because that will give me 1%, is 125 thousandths. Then I can scale it up, multiply by 8. Which, something interesting happens here. When we multiply it by 8, we end up getting 1 whole, or $1. And maybe some of you will see why, but moving on. We have the price, the retail price, and now let's add that 8%, which is $1. Alright, so after the processing fee, the cost is now $13.50. Next, it says Amazon also charges a shipping fee of $3.95 per cube. So we're dealing with 1 cube right now. That's what we have the price for. So let's add that shipping cost. And when you do that, you should get $17.45. Cool. So if the problem just said 1 cube, and after the fee, both fees, the price would be $17.45. But Destiny buys 5 of these cubes. So we have to take this and multiply it by 5. And I'm going to use a calculator. $17.45 times 5. And I get $87.25. So that'll be the final price of 5 cubes. Yeah. Alright, so a lot of that was review. Well, all of that was review, but I hope it was helpful to you. Please leave questions in the comments below and go check out the second part of tonight's homework.